this is my meat haul from my portion of the half cow. It essentially works out to be a sixth of a cow. And I got 127 pounds of beef. So this is what 127 pounds of beef looks like. I just hauled it in from my freezer. And when I go back and put it away, I will go out there and take a picture so you can see what my freezer looks like. But I wanted to point out a couple of my favorites. So this whole package right here, you probably can't see from that far away, but it's just labeled fat. So when you order meat from a local ranch and they butcher it for you, you get to tell them what parts you want. And one of the things I wanted was the extra fat. So that's right here. A lot of this is ground beef. I think I have 21 packages of ground beef. Some of these are soup bones. Some of these are steaks. So I got a lot of variety here, and I'm very excited to dig into some of this. Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here today because today I get to tell you about the time I bought a half beef, a half cow from my local rancher. This is something that I've wanted to try ever since I heard that this was a thing you could do after starting the carnivore diet about a year ago. And so I found a local rancher. They're about an hour from my house. I think it might be about the closest one to me. And I actually placed an order for a half beef back, if you can believe it, in January of 2024. It was actually January 26th, and it is currently July 23rd of 2024. And I received my meat yesterday. So there's a couple reasons for the delay, but even if that hadn't have happened, it would have been about 3 to 4 months to get my beef. So, I mean, the good news is my local rancher is busy, right? And good for them. But what happened was I placed the order for a grass-fed, grass-finished half beef. And then I decided I better go and try this meat for myself. And they do sell meat out of their ranch. They have a couple days a month where you can go down there, and they have a little store area and you can do that. Well, I did that, and I tasted that grass finished beef, and it just tasted really grassy to me. And I thought, this is going to be expensive. I think this time I would like to go ahead and go with grain finished. So I changed my order, and they were so kind, because normally what they would do is they would charge you a couple $100 for an order change. But she said this time she would just do that change order for me. So originally, if I had gone with grain finished beef in the first place, like back in January, I would have had my beef in April. And then grass finished was supposed to be like May or June, but then I changed my order. And so it was actually the end of June when they had a cow ready for me, and then the meat has to go through processing. So it took about 3 weeks to do that process. But I now have my half beef, and I don't have room for a half beef on my own. And so I actually shared it with my mom and my brother. So what I actually have is a sixth of a cow. Now, if you want to order meat from your local rancher, and I'm sure every ranch is a little bit different, but what I had to do was I had to contact them. They're very small. There's no website. I basically just sent an email. You can email or call, and they will put the order in for you. And then they just contact you when, they kind of give you a general idea. But then it kind of depends on rain and all kinds of stuff like that, when exactly your beef will be ready. But they let you know when the kill date has been set, and then they let you know when it is, the butcher then calls you and lets you know when your meat is ready to be picked up. So basically, I got the call at the end of June that it was time for the kill date was June 30th. And then it wasn't too long after that. It was maybe a week later that the butcher called me. Now, this is the cool part about ordering a beef from a local rancher. You get to decide how you want that beef butchered. So unfortunately, this butcher is a very small, kind of a hole in the wall place, been there for 40 years, but again, didn't have any paperwork or anything like that. So it was just over the phone. And I can't remember all the choices he gave me, but he went down a list. And so, for example, with the chuck part of the beef, I was able to get chuck eye steaks and then a small roast. So you can customize your cuts like that. I was also able to specify that I wanted to keep all of the extra fat trimmings, that I wanted to keep the oxtail, that I wanted to keep the soup bones, the marrow bones. So that was all really cool. So I have all that meat, and I'm sure right about now I'll be inserting some footage of me. I spread it all out on my table and showed you what that beef looks like. So how much meat did we actually get? Well, I'm going to have to glance over at my paperwork. So you're going to see me looking off to the side, but here's my invoice. So it was the live weight was 585 pounds for my half beef. And the cost per live, they charge you by live weight, was $2.55 a pound. Again, that's live weight. So that's not how much meat I got. And that's not the price per pound of actual meat, because that's the live weight of that animal. The kill fee was an additional $137.50. The total cost was $1,629.25 for that. And I neglected to mention that at the very beginning, I did have to put down a $200 deposit. I'm sure that's probably standard, or some kind of deposit, right, is probably standard. So I paid the $200 up front. After the beef was, they had my beef ready and they let me know, when it was going to be processed. I paid the balance of that. And then it gets sent to the butcher, and the butcher gives you all of your choices. You make those choices. They do the butchering, and then they let you know when it is ready. So for the cost of the butcher, it was $596.25. And each of us got 127 pounds of meat. So I got 127 pounds, my mom got 127 pounds, and my brother got 127 pounds. And honestly, that was a little more than I was expecting. Now, to be fair, we did take the extra fat trimmings, which I'm going to eat, but it's not a steak, right? Or it's not ground beef. And we did take, soup bones that we could use to make bone broth with. And we also took the liver. But everything else was either ground beef or steak, which I'll go through with you in a minute. I will tell you that it was a total of 381 pounds of meat, and that worked out to $5.84 a pound, which I feel is a fantastic deal. So I know that beef at the store is about that for ground beef, and it was that price for everything, like the ribeyes, the porterhouses, the T-bones. So I will run through really quickly what I got. So, and it was about equal, like we each got about the same. So I got 2 packages, and it doesn't say how many pounds are in each package. The only thing I'm pretty sure of is the ground beef is in 1 pound packages. So, but I got 2 packages of top sirloin steak, 1 package of T-bone, 1 package of porterhouse, 1 package of filet steak, 1 package of soup bones, 4 packages of liver, and I have all the liver, but I am going to give that to my mom. She wants it more than I do. That's something I forgot to do. I wanted to have that ground into some of my ground beef, and I forgot to do that because he was just on the phone talking to me, and I just forgot to make that request. It wasn't like I could put it in writing or check off things on a paper. Anyways, 1 package of skirt steak, 1 package of flat iron steak, the package of fat, 2 7-bone roasts, 1 chuck steak, 3 rib steaks, ribeye steaks, 2 packages of short rib, or 3 packages of ribeye steaks. I'm not sure how many steaks are in a package. 5 packages of neck bones, 21 packages of ground beef, and each one of those is a pound. So 21 pounds of ground beef, 1 package of brisket, 1 package of oxtail, and 4 packages of carne asada. Again, that's a total of 127 pounds. And we all, each of us got that much weight, which I thought was really cool. I want to wrap this up by saying, why should you do this? Well, first of all, I'm for sure saving money, right? It was quite a process though, and it's not like a lot of money, but I am for sure saving some money. Next time I think we're going to go for the whole cow because my mom just got a big 16 cubic foot freezer. I will put photos in here of what that meat looks like. My freezer is 7.2 cubic feet, and I'll put photos right there of what the meat, 127 pounds of meat looks like in that freezer. So I think now between that, and I don't know what my brother's freezer looks like, but I think we'll have room between the 3 of us next time for a whole cow, and it will get even cheaper. But also I am supporting a local rancher where these cows live a wonderful life out in the fields, grazing on grass. It's not some kind of terrible environment, some CAFO type of farm. They're not living under any kind of horrendous conditions. And I'm also supporting local business and not having to have meat imported from far away and things like that. So I hope this helped you make the process a little bit more transparent. I know I knew nothing about it. Now that I've done it once, it's not terribly difficult, and I'm excited to order some more beef in the future. So, you know what? I forgot to say how much I actually paid. My portion came to $741.68. And I think this meat is going to last my family about 3 months or so, maybe 4. I don't think we'll get through all that ground beef in that amount of time. We'll have to see because we have some people eating with some new eating habits. So I'll definitely fill you in and let you know how long the 127 pounds of meat lasted us. But for now, it's time for me to go and meet some wellness, 1/2 of a local ranch cow at a time. Bye, everybody.